Today we are going to be taking a look at the ScaleTrains HO Scale Rivet Counter EMD GP30, specifically the Burlington Northern model referred to as the GP39E as the rebuild. Let's get this locomotive out of the box and take a look at this. This model is equipped with ESU Lok-Sound DCC and sound. Inside the box you find the GP30 product manual, a foam protection layer, and your standard packaging to keep the locomotive safe. We will get this out of the box and take a look at the details on this model. We have the locomotive out of the box, and this is a very stunning looking model, my first impressions of it. Right away, another detail I really like is the painted wheel faces. They've started doing the rust color. I absolutely love that. You see the cab height difference with the new cabs put on, Burlington Northern did. But you still have the GP30 hood. You see that difference really well right there. There's just a lot of really great details, which I'll zoom in and show later, especially the airline for the relocated horn, which is absolutely fantastic detail. And you've got, as the box says, the strobe ditch lights, and you can see those housings right there, and those are pretty unique, unlike regular ditch lights, and we will talk about those in the video and show the operation of them. We're going to put this on the layout now and take a look at the lighting and sound features, as well as more details. In today's video, we're going to specifically focus on the GP39E, which is this model. Burlington Northern had other variations of these rebuilds, but the E model, the GP39E, was the only one which had the standard EMD cab like this placed upon the regular GP30 car body. This batch was actually former Southern high hood locomotives. They were sent to EMD and rebuilt with standard EMD cabs placed on them. So that's why you get the height difference between the hood and the cab. A little goofy, but you know, it's part of Burlington Northern's history. I kind of like how it looks. I prefer the standard GP30 cab, but it's neat to see this different variation of this model, and I'm hoping down the road ScaleTrains will also author other variations of these rebuilds. This model is decorated in the Burlington Northern whiteface scheme, which features the Burlington Northern logo large on the nose and no chevrons, and the whiteface, evident in the whiteface name, on the front of the cab for visibility purposes. In this view, we have a good look at the dynamic brake fan, as long as the two radiator fans, and the Leslie RS3K horn. This was a very signature horn of Burlington Northern Railroad. You also get a good look at the grills, very nice detail. And the detail I talked about earlier in the video is this nice airline that runs all the way to the horn. It is a very good looking detail, very intricate, and it stands out nice. Here we have a close look at the MU hoses, the cables, spare knuckles. The chain is actually silver, which I think is really neat. And your standard ScaleTrains coupler. Grab irons look great. All the handrails are nice and straight on this model. They did an excellent job on this. The walkways are actually can go up or down depending on if you have another unit paired up with this. So if it was just running by itself and no other units MU'd, you'd have this up, and you put it down as a crossover between the other units if you had it MU'd with another unit. So that's a nice detail. It actually operates. We're at the front of the locomotive now. We have a lot of the same details as I just showed off on the back. The walkway is also positionable on the front. Love that. You know, your MU hoses, cables, and you got the detail of these strobe ditch light housings. These differ from regular ditch light housings. These were pretty unique. Back in the 90s, railroads were experimenting with different ways on improving lighting. You had your beacons, strobe lights, ditch lights, and strobe ditch lights. Burlington Northern was a big user of the strobe ditch lights. They were not the only railroad, but they were one of the only railroads using these. They had a very unique pattern. They just kind of would flash random when the horn was blown. They did attract attention, but overall they fell out of favor due to standard incandescent ditch lights, which we see to this day and age. Once I get this powered up, we will demonstrate these strobe ditch lights. I have some after models that have these, such as their SD60Ms, and they did an SD40 a few years ago. check out some of my other videos on YouTube featuring these on there. As you can hear, that sounded very impressive. What looked impressive to me was the strobe ditch lights. Those have a random pattern just like the prototype had. I absolutely love this feature, and the horn activates these. You also might have heard that the prime mover is 9567. When these are rebuilt, they were rebuilt with 645 turbos, taking out the 567 that these originally had in them. So that's another unique feature about these Burlington Northern rebuilds. So when you turn on function 8, which starts the prime mover, you also get your number boards, you get your walkway lights, and your ground lights that turn on, which are an excellent feature. We'll zoom in and take a closer look at some of these features I just talked about. The illuminated walkway lights in the front and rear are an amazing touch. I love how these look. You can also see the truck is illuminated with the ground light. This is a really great feature. And you can also see here the painted truck faces with that rust color just looks so phenomenal. I'm glad they started doing this. Towards the rear of the unit, you notice another walkway light. On the rear of the locomotive, you see the other side has another walkway light. There's the other walkway light. Illuminated number boards, the headlight. All these extra lighting features are really top-notch and a new standard for the Rivet counter line from ScaleTrains. When I did a review video of the ScaleTrains SD40-2B, these were in the video, and I didn't know the model had those, and I could not believe how great those walkway lights looked. So seeing these from models here on out in Rivet counter is truly a great thing, and I'm glad they're doing this. Here we see a side profile with the height difference with their standard GP30 car body and the EMD cab, which is a non-GP30 cab that they put on these when they rebuild them, as I said earlier. I was lucky enough to see one of these on a recent trip to Kansas in 2023. Here are some of my photos from that trip of a similar unit to this one, still in Burlington Northern paint on the BNSF and a stored deadline of locomotives. Another feature I was not expecting on this locomotive is the opening and closing cab windows, just like Athearn has done in the past. I personally don't recall ever seeing this on a ScaleTrains unit unless I missed them in the past, but it is super neat that you can open and close these windows just like the prototype, leaving an opportunity to have a crew figure out there. You also get a close look at the mirrors. I like those. And you got the speed recorder cable down here. This model features excellent slow speed performance. We have placed the locomotive on the head end of a long train, and this thing will pull pretty well. Let's check it out. I love the random flash strobes. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. This is a model I never was expecting to see produced in anything other than brass, and ScaleTrains has done a fantastic job as usual on another great locomotive, and made a lot of Burlington Northern modelers very happy, such as myself. These locomotives are currently, at the time of this video, in stock at ScaleTrains.com and your favorite ScaleTrains dealer. Be sure to check them out. I highly recommend this locomotive, and I have no complaints with this one.